What if I told you the most dangerous bomber in the world was designed before your grandparents were born? And it's still flying combat missions today. 8 engines, 70,000 pounds of firepower, a cockpit that looks straight out of the Cold War. And yet, no modern aircraft has replaced it. This is the B-52 Stratofortress, the bomber that refused to die, and the flying fortress that still rules the sky. Let's start with what makes this beast so indestructible, because when you look at the B-52's frame, you're looking at engineering that was designed to last forever. The wing structure, it's a masterpiece of steel, alloy, and magnesium. Running along the entire length are front and rear spars. These aren't your average aircraft components. They're made from super strong steel combined with lightweight alloys specifically chosen to prevent rust and corrosion. These spars are interconnected by wing rib constructions. Think of them like the skeleton of the wing. They're designed to withstand massive stress, provide flexibility during tight turns, and support the entire weight of the aircraft plus 70,000 pounds of weapons. Now here's something fascinating. Those wings aren't solid, they're hollow, intentionally hollow, because Boeing engineers turned them into fuel tanks. We're talking about 7,000 gallons of fuel stored throughout the wing structure. Genius engineering right there. But here's the problem with having such long, flexible wings. They're so massive that if you try to rotate the nose up too much during takeoff, the wings and tail would scrape the ground. That's why the B-52 doesn't rotate like normal aircraft. Instead, it requires an extremely long runway and basically flies off the ground almost horizontally. The fuselage, it's built using high-grade steel and magnesium alloy bulkheads and formers. These run the entire length of the aircraft, creating this incredibly strong backbone. Then hundreds of lightweight aluminum panels are riveted to these frames, giving you that classic vintage bomber look while keeping the structure aerodynamic and versatile. Now let's talk about those landing gears, because they're unlike anything you've seen. The B-52 has 4 bicycle landing gears, 2 at the front and 2 at the rear, plus 2 wing-tip outrigger wheels to prevent those massive wings from hitting the ground. Here's what's interesting, the left side landing gear folds forward while the right side folds backward. Why? Because they're so enormous they need to fold in opposite directions just to fit inside the aircraft. Smart engineering solving real problems. But wait, there's more. These landing gears can crab walk, meaning they move sideways. This isn't just for show. This is critical for crosswind landings. When you're bringing a 244-ton bomber down in heavy winds, being able to angle your landing gear into the wind while keeping the fuselage straight is absolutely essential. So how do you get inside this flying fortress? Let's walk through it step by step like you're actually boarding the aircraft. You enter through the ventral entry hatch located near the landing gear. There are small steps leading up, and immediately you're in this narrow passage sandwiched between 2 huge engine control modules and communication compartments. These are computerized systems that monitor and manage the performance of all 8 engines. Moving forward, you enter the lower deck. This is the offense or navigation compartment, and this is where things get interesting. On the left side sits the radar navigator, who also serves as the bombardier. This person uses advanced radar systems to target and direct weapons with pinpoint precision. On the right side is the navigator. Their job is on a larger scale. They're guiding the entire aircraft for the mission, calculating routes, managing fuel consumption, coordinating with other aircraft. They're the mission planner and execution specialist. Now here's something wild about these seats. They're ejection seats, but unlike normal aircraft where you eject upward, these eject downward. Why? Because the B-52 often operates at low altitudes where upward ejection would be dangerous. So if things go wrong, you punch out downward to safety. Moving up to the second level toward the back, you find 2 more seats forming the defense station. On the left is the electronic warfare officer. This person controls all defensive equipment, jamming systems, countermeasures, everything designed to keep enemy missiles and fighters away from the aircraft. This role is absolutely critical because the B-52 isn't exactly nimble. She can't outmaneuver threats, so the electronic warfare officer has to outsmart them, detect incoming missiles, deploy countermeasures, jam enemy radar. It's high-stakes electronic chess at 40,000 feet. Both of these rear positions also have upward firing ejection seats because they're located in the upper fuselage where upward ejection is safe. Now let's head to the flight deck. This is where the magic happens. The co-pilot sits on the right, the captain on the left, And between them is a cockpit that looks like it came straight out of the 1970s, because it did. You've got analog gauges everywhere, dials, switches, mechanical instruments. It's old school in the best way possible, but don't let the vintage appearance fool you. Modern avionics have been integrated throughout: GPS navigation, digital displays, advanced communication systems. She's got the brains of a modern jet wrapped in a classic package. Let's talk about what makes the buff move, those 8 Pratt & Whitney engines, because understanding how they work helps you appreciate the raw power of this aircraft. The B-52 has 8 engines arranged in pairs within pods, suspended by 4 pylons positioned beneath and forward of the wing's leading edge. This configuration is iconic. When you see 8 engines in 4 pods, you know you're looking at a B-52. These are low bypass turbofan engines. Let me break down how they work. The fan rotor draws in ambient air which undergoes powerful compression in both the low pressure and high pressure compressors, squeezing the air molecules together. That compressed air then enters the combustor where fuel is injected. This creates continuous combustion reaching temperatures around 1000 degrees Celsius. We're talking about controlled explosions happening constantly inside these engines. The heat causes the gas to expand rapidly and escape from the combustor with incredible energy. This high-energy gas flows through both the high-pressure and low-pressure turbines, spinning them at thousands of revolutions per minute. As those turbines spin, they drive both the compressor and the fan, creating a cycle that produces massive amounts of thrust. Multiply that by 8 engines and you've got 136,000 pounds of thrust pushing this beast through the sky. Now here's what's interesting about these engines. The Air Force is finally replacing them. After decades of service, new Rolls-Royce F-130 engines are coming. They'll provide 30% better fuel efficiency, dramatically reduce maintenance costs, and extend the B-52 service life well into the 2050s. Alright, now comes the fun part. Let's start up those 8 engines, and I'll walk you through the exact process step by step. First, let's familiarize ourselves with the basic controls. This is the control we'll use to steer the plane. Below are the rudder pedals and brake pedals, and these are the 8 throttle levers, one for each engine. Looking at the instrument panel, you've got dials for all 8 engines. Above them are the engine fire shutoff switches, critical safety equipment. Below that are the engine pressure ratio gauges, tachometers showing RPM, exhaust gas temperature gauges, and fuel flow meters. You'll also notice 2 large TV screens. These are the EVS monitors, electronic video system. They display footage from cameras mounted under the nose of the aircraft, crucial for low light navigation and targeting. Now here's how you start the engines. Step 1. Switch to pneumatic start and turn on the starter for engine number 4. This is typically the first engine you fire up. Step 2. Once the RPM reaches 15%, you advance the throttle for engine number 4. You're feeding fuel into the combustion chamber and bringing the engine to life. Step 3. Following the same sequence, you start engine number 5. You wait a few minutes between starts because you're drawing power from the auxiliary power unit. Starting all 8 engines sequentially takes time. It's a methodical process. But here's where it gets interesting. Step 4. In an emergency, you can initiate startup using shotgun shells. Yes, actual shotgun shells. They're placed in cartridge starters just below each engine. When activated, hot gas is rapidly pumped through the starters, which spins up all 8 engines simultaneously. It's loud, it's dramatic, and it gets the job done in record time. Step 5. Once all engines are running, you can push to full throttle, and at that moment, you're controlling 136,000 pounds of thrust, 8 engines screaming, ready to launch 244 tons of aircraft and weapons into the sky. Now that we've got the engines running, let's talk about how you actually fly this massive aircraft, because the B-52 has some unique characteristics. The steering yoke for the co-pilot has several controls. First, you've got the EVS button, which controls those video monitors we discussed earlier. There's also a red button, which is an engine stall prevention system, usually activated during takeoff at slow speeds when engines are most vulnerable. On the back of the yoke is a communication switch. Press down to talk to ground control and the command center. Press up to communicate with crew members inside the aircraft. There's also a stabilizer trim switch, probably controlling those tail elevators, allowing fine adjustments to the aircraft's pitch during flight. Now here's something most people don't know. The B-52 doesn't have ailerons, at least not in the latest versions. Instead, it uses spoilers and flaps to turn the plane. This is extremely rare in aviation. The spoilers open up at desired angles opposite each other. One side goes up while the other stays down, creating differential lift that banks the aircraft. Meanwhile, the flaps extend outward, increasing the wing surface area. During takeoff, all flaps extend to maximum capacity, creating extra lift to help those 8 engines launch the aircraft off the ground. Remember, this beast weighs 244 tons fully loaded. When landing, the spoilers act as air brakes, helping decrease speed, while the flaps create a cushion of air for a softer touchdown. But even with all that, the B-52 needs help stopping. That's where the drag parachute comes in. When deployed upon landing, 2 parachutes deploy, a smaller pilot chute pulls the main chute out of its container, and this main chute is massive, 13.3 meters in diameter, 27 meters long, weighing about 200 pounds, it creates enough drag to slow down this giant effectively. Let's put the size of this aircraft into perspective, because numbers don't always convey just how enormous the B-52 really is. The B-52 Stratofortress stands 40 feet 8 inches tall. That's taller than a 4-story building. She's 159 feet 4 inches long, about half a football field, and has a wingspan of 185 feet. That's wider than the Wright brothers' first flight was long. Let's compare her to other famous aircraft. Here's the AC-130 gunship, a massive aircraft in its own right. But next to the B-52, it looks small. The B-52 dwarfs it in wingspan and overall presence. Now here's the C-5 Galaxy cargo transport plane. This one stands taller and has a wider body because it's designed to carry tanks and equipment, but in terms of overall intimidation factor, the B-52 still wins. A worthy comparison is the Soviet Tu-95 bomber, also a strategic bomber, also massive, also designed during the Cold War. The Tu-95 cost around $26 million, while the B-52 costs about $94 million when you factor in all the modern tech upgrades. Now let's talk about what makes the B-52 so deadly, her weapons systems, because this is where the bomber truly earns her reputation as a flying fortress. Starting with the external racks under the wings, these can carry around 9 conventional weapons per side, but the upgraded racks can carry 6 paveway laser-guided bombs on each wing. These guided bombs have a maximum range of over 30 kilometers depending on drop altitude. The higher you drop from, the farther they glide. But the real game changer is the AGM-158 JASSM, Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile. These external racks can carry up to 12 of these bad boys. This low-detection standoff cruise missile has a range of about 370 kilometers, that's 230 miles. Think about the implications. A B-52 equipped with JASSM can target military installations deep inside enemy territory without ever crossing the border. It's a lower-cost alternative to other cruise missiles, but just as deadly. Now let's open those bomb bay doors. When loading weapons, the doors open all the way down, providing maximum room for loading various weapon systems, but when dropping bombs during flight, they only open halfway. This maintains the aerodynamics of the plane at high altitude. Inside you'll find the rotary weapons bay. This is brilliant engineering. It allows for a wider variety of munitions to be carried. It can fit 8 nuclear-capable air-launched cruise missiles, known as ALCMs. If you consider both the internal bay and external racks, the B-52 can carry up to 20 ALCMs total. This missile was specially developed to increase the effectiveness and survivability of the B-52 strategic bomber. Here's how it works. The first missile drops and safely clears the aircraft. Then it opens its wings and tail sections, activates its jet engine, and glides toward the target autonomously. The rotary weapons bay then rotates 360 degrees, positioning the next missile for release. Drop the second, then the third, then the fourth. This clever system allows the B-52 to carry more missiles than older variants, increasing lethality significantly. But that's not all. The internal weapons bay can also carry up to 27 conventional bombs. These can be Mark 82 dumb weapons, unguided bombs that can be dropped in rapid succession for saturation bombing of large target areas. Let's walk through how the weapons systems officer actually operates these weapons, because precision matters when you're dropping ordnance from 40,000 feet. Remember those laser-guided bombs? This is where the targeting pod comes in. Mounted under the wing, this pod can aim at moving targets with incredible precision. Inside the Weapon Systems Officer section, he uses a controller to laser designate targets. This joystick helps turn the targeting pod and guide the laser-equipped weapons directly onto the target. When ready, he flips a switch. If a laser-guided bomb is stored internally, this automatically opens the bomb bay doors, the bomb releases, and immediately the laser guidance system takes over. The bomb can be guided onto any mobile target. Imagine a tank moving across the battlefield. The Weapon Systems Officer tracks it through the targeting pod, the laser paints the target, and the bomb adjusts its flight path in real time, striking with devastating accuracy from thousands of feet away. This turns the B-52 into exactly what its name suggests, a flying fortress capable of precision strikes anywhere, anytime. But here's an interesting problem. When you drop heavy weapons from one side of the wing, the aircraft can tilt significantly, so how do you maintain balance? The solution is fuel transfer. The pilot can pump fuel throughout the aircraft in any configuration needed, move it from auxiliary tanks to main tanks, from outboard to inboard tanks, constantly adjusting the center of gravity. This is also crucial if the plane takes battle damage or if an engine is lost. You can compensate by redistributing fuel weight, keeping the aircraft stable and controllable even under adverse conditions. So there you have it, a complete walkthrough of the B-52 Stratofortress, from the steel and alloy frame that gives her strength, to the 8 powerful engines that push her through the sky, from the vintage cockpit that still gets the job done, to the devastating weapons systems that make her one of the most feared aircraft on Earth. This bomber was built in 1952 and will fly until 2050. That's nearly 100 years of continuous service. No other aircraft comes close. No other bomber has proven this reliable, this adaptable, this absolutely essential to American air power. The B-52, she's not just a plane, she's a legend, she's a workhorse, she's a testament to engineering excellence that transcends generations, and she's not going anywhere anytime soon. If you want more breakdowns like this on cutting-edge military technology, the real capabilities behind these weapon systems, and what makes modern warfare tick, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching Defense Ninja. Stay informed, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.